Good morning, everyone. With start with the politic news at scale. For ayat corruption of is helping some hit the government of the Petro Nicolas Petro. A representation for the Department of the Atlantic and the firstborn of the Colombian president was accused by his the wife of taking over contribution from Brussels, some which questionable tax for years going to his father president campaign. The Colombian president formal asked the prosecuting official to investigate his son before the crisis broken out. My president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, appeared during his president campaign, and in the background he held son Nicolas Petro, now accused of alleged corruption in Bogota, Colombia. In the May, Colombia President Gustavo Petro appears during his president campaign with his elder son Nicolas Petro, now accused of alleged corruption in the backgroup. Gustavo Petro government. His experience what might be the most difficult with side the start of his term on August 7. The investigation into Nicolas Petro, the president elder son and representative for Atlantic region for alleged corruption have generated and media. Hurricane in Colombia that has led to an immediate crisis for the Petro family and the government. They are crucial again. Nicolas Petro Burgos will meet on March 3 with his ex-wife. They basked in the prime time slot of with no conservative media of in the Colombian. Their basket commented on the illegal finances the his ex-husband had received during her father president campaign from various pursuits in the Atlantic region, located on the Caribbean coast, and whose capital is Barranquilla. Apparently, Petro Burgos has the responsibility of coordinating to contributing to the president campaign. His father, he never done so, saying he has yielded to over this money ending up in the world of politics. Let Halson find out about it what will be happening in the world of the economy since the arrival of the COVID-19.
Hello, I talk about of the impact the COVID-19 on the Colombian economy challenge and perspective. The entire world has experienced a significant impact due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and Colombia has not been the exception. Since the arrival of the virus, the country has faced various economic challenges that have affected all sectors and led to a deep recession. In this report, we will explore the consequences of the health crisis on the Colombian economy, as well as the measures taken by the government and the prospect of recovery. Closures of key sectors. One of the first effect of COVID-19 was the shutdown of key economic sectors. The impositions of mandatory restrictions and lockdown led to the close of companies and business in different industries such as tourism, gastronomy, and entertainment. These measures had an immediate impact on employment and income generation, affecting millions of workers and companies. Impact on the labor market. Unemployment skyrocketed in Colombia as a result of the pandemic. Impact on the labor market. Unemployment skyrocketed in Colombia as a result of the pandemic. Many companies were forced to reduce their staff or close their doors permanently. The most affected sectors were the informal and low-income sectors, where many people lost their source of income. The government implemented economic aid programs and subsidies to mitigate the impact on the most vulnerable sectors, but the economic recovery has been slow. Crisis in the health sector. The pandemic put the Colombian health system to the test demand hard healthcare, increased of significantly putting strength. Pressure on hospitals and health centers, limited resources and a lack of capacity to deal with the health crisis exacerbated the situation, affecting not only public health but also the economy in general. Thank you for viewing.
Good afternoon. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. To begin, I would like you to tell us a little about your childhood and your family environment. How would you describe your upbringing?
Good afternoon. My childhood has get complicated. I get up on dysfunctionality enjoyment with a very boring and lack of affection. There was no real emotional connectivity in my family, which led me to feel isolated and neglected.
I understand lack of emotional connection can have a significant impact on a person's development. Could you share with us how you feel in that environment?
I feel alone and different. I didn't fit in with my climate and difficult establishing relationships. Feeling like there was sometimes war with me some kind of emptiness inside that I could never feel, that led me to look for ways to escape that reality.
How did your escalation interviews and murder begin?
It started with small acts of cruelty to animals. It gave me a strong feeling of power and control over life and death. As I grew older, that feeling intensified, and I needed more to satisfy me. My dark desires. I stand experiment with people trying to capture that sensations that only the act of killing gave me.
These acts of violence are extremely disturbing. Can you describe how you feel during and after committing those acts?
During the acts, I feel euphoric, release from frustration and anguish that had accumulated. I feel a sense of absolutely power over someone else's life. However, after age at I was inhibited via the feeling of guilt and remorse. Also, paradoxically, that did not prevent me from continuing to commit more crimes.
Guilt and remorse are contradictory emotions in relation to your actions. Have you ever tried to have help or stop?
Yes, I tried several times. I saw therapy and tried to control my impulse, but I kept relapsing into the same behavior. Parents, I feel trapped in a self-destructive cycles from which I could not escape. I even wished someone would stop me from doing any more damage.
Clearly, you were struggling internally with your action. How do you feel now, looking back at your life and what you have done?
I am deeply sorry for the damage I have caused. I regret everything life I.
Thanks for watching this interview. We'll continue with our opera Oscar.
Welcome to Ambiguous. Today will tell you a bit about one of the important cultural instances and moment, which is the migration of Venezuelans. We are the place that generates a lot of the discussion, but first let provide some context. The migration of the Venezuelans is the economic, political, and social crisis in Venezuela. It's estimated that over 5 million Venezuelans left the country. The main stations included neighboring countries such Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and Ecuador. Migrants often detained and irregular migrationist situation face change in terms of the access to basic service. Migration has the significant impact revising countries, country pressures and acquiring education and social service system. The international community has provided a humanitarian assistance and cooperation to address this generation crisis, which is the release that in relation this that not every will endorse. With this, we raise that a migration a topic that not everyone will understand. And why? We have breaking news. My college Daniela is this figure was has made a global impact. Let us switch to the news. Oh my god.
El gobierno de Gustavo Petro vive las que quizá sean las semanas más complicadas desde el inicio de su mandato el pasado